it's Leah Lauder and welcome to my YouTube channel. And if you're watching this pre-recorded live later on Instagram, welcome. It's your favorite mega church cult survivor at your service. And I've been doing a little segment on aggressive pred street preachers, okay? I want to let you know that if you are watching the live later on, I am actually on TikTok live right now. So you'll hear me engaging with the community, survivors, randoms that are surfing the waves of the internet. So please bear that in mind. So welcome, Queen Licia. Having said that, I've been talking about aggressive street preachers, and please go and look at part 1 and 2. There's the full live recordings that are going to be uploaded on YouTube. What I started to realize with these aggressive street preachers is there's always these weirdos that are with them, Chair. You know, like these guys when they're getting into altercations or whatever, and they come swooping in and save the day, or they're just around there. And they're just giving like that, you know, vulnerable adult, maybe socially excluded. You can just clearly see that there's issues going on there. All right. And again, this is just further validating my hypotheses around religious psychosis and how vulnerable and susceptible, you know, these types of adults are. And then the young people and children are usually young people that are evidencing these signs of RADICAL ideologies, and, you know, will unfortunately end up like this, you know, and waste their lives doing this. All right. So let's look into it. Why are these vulnerable adults with these type of aggressive street preachers? So let's look at why. So vulnerable adults seeking belonging. Oh gosh, let me share the live. YouTube and TikTok, there'll be a silent pause for a sec. Give me less than 60 seconds. I'm sure that was less than 60 seconds, share. It's so sad. It's so sad. And when I started looking through the pictures, you know, some of them are also questionable characters, my love. Do you know what I mean? Like, should they have access to really vulnerable people when they're that vulnerable themselves? I don't think that they should be out helping anyone. They rather need the help and support. And this is where I think there's just that disconnect because of the religious psychosis, the distorted reality. They're just so desperate for anyone to entertain these grandiose ideologies, to be wrapped up in this religious psychosis, that whoever's willing to just, you know, ride on this wave of insanity, they'll take along for the ride. That's what I feel. All right, let's see if we can get through this quickly because we've got one more segment to preach. So this will be a quick one because it is late. It's 11:30 p.m. in the night, but I wanted to just come on and just finish and finalize it. I think that 3 is a good number. All right. So many of these tag-alongs are isolated, lonely, or socially excluded because of mental illness, intellectual disability, or past trauma. And I also want to say, in the mega you know what cults, in these spaces, they target vulnerable adults with disabilities, you know, learning difficulties, etc., because they're like the bread and butter. They're easy, quick wins, you know, again, because they're socially excluded, you know, isolated. A lot of the times they have mental illness, so they can't maintain and keep friendships or form relationships, or that some people don't do well in social environments. They could have social anxiety, etc. It does attract a lot of these people, a lot of people who are like people pleasers, etc. The preacher offers them a role, a mission, and a sense of belonging, something they rarely get elsewhere. Remember, these are the most dehumanized, ostracized groups in society, okay? When we look at intersectionality, you know, they're discriminated at many different layers. Yeah. When we look at it from an intersectional lens, being the preacher's backup or security makes them feel important and useful. even if they don't fully grasp the harm being done. And as well, what I noticed with this guy was when he was moving to the girl, and it was really obvious that it was inappropriate, and this guy was just like, give your life, sister, give your life, it's just like an echo, like a almost like things that they've been learned to say. So sad. Hero worship and dependency. Street preachers often present themselves as strong, fearless, chosen by God. Vulnerable adults may idolize that confidence because it fills a gap in their own lives and their own insecurities. It's almost like they feel wanted, validated, They attach themselves in a kind of parasocial or dependent relationship, hoping to share in that power, to be a partaker. This is so sad. It's very similar to cult dynamics. The vulnerable follower feels safer and more significant when tethered to a dominant figure. It's like giving someone else the remote control to your life. We've all been there, haven't we? When we've been at that absolute traumatic crisis point where it's either we say, we can't go on anymore, or we find and seek solace in this so-called refuge, house of God, whatever. So why are these tag-alongs, these vulnerable adults, why are they always around with these wacky, aggressive street preachers? Because of psychological exploitation. The preacher gets something out of it too, a loyal sidekick who boosts their ego and make them look more validated. So they're a type of high grade supplied to a narcissist. These companions will often clap, cheer, or echo the preacher's ABUSE. That's what he was doing, which amplifies the aggression and makes the performance more intimidating. Some know exactly what they're doing, and like that Ollie guy, there's an Asian guy that's with him, and he kind of heckles, like cheers him on, like do more, for the content, because that's what it's become about. It's like it's content, it's rage bait, it's clout for content creation. Essentially, the preacher is exploiting someone's vulnerability to manufacture backup and legitimacy. All right. Bear with me, I'm going to change the picture. Be patient. Good things come to those who wait. Shared delusion, folie à deux effect. So we're going to get into the folie à deux. Let me put on, because there is one that I was really concerned about. And I was just like, why is he even out, like, with the common public? Yeah, I think it's this. Yeah, it's this guy. Can you see him clearly? Because guys, another thing is, you see with these like tag-alongs, these questionable characters that are in these groups that come to support these wacky backies, they rarely come on the camera. So this is me trying to capture like an angle of them. This was a reflection through something that he was putting up for lighting. But these are the kind of characters, like they are so radical, like they're not mentally, they don't have the mental capacity. Do you know what I'm saying, guys? All right, so let's look into why these vulnerable adults, tag-alongs, get targeted and why they're there. It's the shared delusion, folie à deux effect. In some cases, this is close to what psychology calls folie à deux, a shared delusion where one dominant person, the preacher, the leader, the monk, transmits their paranoia, rage, or religious obsession to a more suggestible, vulnerable person. So these guys lap it up. They just need something like a meaning, a purpose. And remember, I say that a lot of them have been like ostracized, outcasted, rejected from society. And so this is the place where they find that sense of belonging. The follower genuinely believes they're part of a holy mission, even if to outsiders it looks bizarre or unhinged. All right. Why it looks so off balance to the public. So let's discuss this. And guys, there's just like been so much, like there's that disconnect between the public. Let me try and find chair. All right, I'm just going to put him up because he was busting up at them, chair. So why it looks so off balance to the public, it feels jarring. Oh, let me see if I can find the picture of them laughing actually, because that was a good one. I got ones of them laughing. I enlarged it. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to find check. Pray for me here. All right, here we go. So Ollie was doing up deliverance of this woman, on the street, on the roadside, she was manifested on the floor, everything. And then I caught these guys in the back absolutely busting up, right? So why it looks so off balance to the public, it feels jarring because it's not a balanced friendship. It's an unhealthy, unequal dynamic. And again, guys, do you see there's like that real disconnect because they're in these like self-sealing bubbles, because these guys are vigilantes. I've spoken about it in my other video, part 1 to 2. If you're watching from YouTube, just go to part 1 to 2. If you're on Instagram, you might get a 15-minute taster. So hop over to Leah Lauder 777 on YouTube and you can get the full video that I've done live. Okay. So the preacher equals the dominant, loud, aggressive, ego-driven leader. The sidekick, vulnerable, mentally unwell, dependent, easily influenced. What you're really seeing is exploitation masked as companionship. All right, so I think I'm gonna end it with this guy, and then I'll take questions, and then I think I'll just share my thoughts and feelings before I go, because as I said, guys, this is just a quick one, because I did say I'm coming back, and I wanted the full. Oh my gosh, I wanted the full recording of these lives so that it's really succinct and coherent, because I think it's really important to spread awareness and light on this topic, because a lot of them are getting away with, just street ABUSE. It's not street preaching, it's street ABUSE. And I'll stay on for a little bit and just discuss some of my thoughts and reflections. They're just really odd characters, just kind of like outcasts of society. And these are the vulnerable adults that they prey upon, okay? So in short, these kind of strange characters, weird guys, etc., are often vulnerable adults, drawn in by the preacher's confidence and holy mission. They gain a sense of purpose and belonging they can't find elsewhere. But in reality, they're being used as props, egging on ABUSE behavior, legitimizing the preacher, and giving cover to aggression. Isn't this sad that in a place that's supposed to bring refuge and supposed to create a community of like-minded people getting to know Christ and experiencing salvation, are getting exploited? And I just want to say that my heart goes out to these vulnerable adults. I don't enjoy speaking about these topics, but the shadows, the darkness, the things that are not seen to the naked eye do need to be unmasked. There does need to be a process of demystification and exposure, so that the light can be shone upon the inequality and injustices that's happening within this very powerful religious organization. I also want to add that, where does this end? Where do we say enough is enough? Where do we say that we need to take a stance and a stand for our communities, for our vulnerable adults in our communities? There's a certain point where, these people are left to fend for themselves. They don't have family, they don't have community, they don't have support infrastructures. And so these very RADICAL, high control groups, give them routine, especially if these vulnerable adults have things like autism, etc., are neurodivergent. The habits, the routine, it helps them to gain that security. Oh, your first bit of the comment, Lucia, didn't come through. Are you able to repost it, my lovely? And so what is this all about? Is this type of street evangelism? Because they're not recruiting. And I've never understood this style of evangelism, where they go out, they speak to people on the street, then if they give their life, what happens? Where's the follow-up? Like, I always used to think that with Benny Hinn's Excel Center crusades, his mass evangelisms, the air crusades. I always used to think, what happens to all these thousands of people that come up and give their lives? Are they going to a church? Are they doing this? Are they doing that? And that's what my cult leader used to pride off, the fact that he was an evangelist and he had all these churches so he could direct them there. All right. Queen Lucia says they just transferred their behaviors into these settings. Yeah, it's just the transference. You're absolutely right. And you can notice the difference to how they respond with people who are agreeing with them, feeding that narcissistic supply, because they've got that high grade supply that they crave in people validating those grandiose ideologies and that savior complex that they have, validating the delusions where they believe that God has appointed them or anointed them to be this great monk that's on the streets risking his life. So when these people feed into that delusional perspective that they have, then, you know, they speak to them in a way like, do you remember when I exposed Jesse with that little boy who had been speaking to him and he said, "I'll say that again." It's like he wanted it for the camera, and it was so obvious that he did that, and they've been getting exposed for like quite staged looking fake healings and whatever. Because you've got to remember, guys, with cult leaders like Jim Jones, yeah, some of the healings and miracles worked, but some of them didn't, and he needed to keep up with the publicity and the promo, etc. And so he started to fake miracles and get people to cough up. They were like, you know, like cow's hearts and things like that, and saying that they were delivered from terminal cancers and stuff. So very dark thing. There's a very dark side to this addiction of power and the narcissist's ego and the supply that's needed to feed this hidden beast and monster, and then they camouflage it with hyper religiosity. They cloak it with priestly robes and false doctrine. Went carnival and saw so many preachers. I know they're going to be out in droves because they feel like they're getting attacked and persecuted. It's just the more they do it, the more it's going to push people further away. All of a sudden they heal. Yeah. All of a sudden they can heal the sick and bind, you know, demons. I'm going to finish with this one because as you said that, is it Shans? You just reminded me of this. And I'm going to change the photo. So this boy presented himself to, I think it was Jesse. Okay. Remember, they've got these hyper religious ideologies. Remember, because they're narcissists, but they're delusional as well. Hey, Pert, I'm just finishing up, but you just came in time to catch this last bit. I'm going to be uploading it on YouTube. All the lives will be on YouTube in about 10 minutes, my love. So if you're bored or you can't sleep, then, you know, you can binge watch. So don't worry, I got you. So they want to believe that they're these healers, these evangelists, these miracle workers, these prophets, these all the titles under the sun. All right. And so with this video went quite viral of Jesse claiming to heal this little boy that was in these crutches. All right. And I saw a medical professional stitch it and they were like, this is so dangerous for him to take off his cast at this stage, you know, because he's healing like this, that and the third. So anyway, he took it off and he was asking him to walk. And as he was applying pressure to it, he was saying the pain's gone, the pain's gone. But again, the adrenaline, the dopamine, etc., that can also be another factor at play where people, you know, think that the pain's gone and stuff. But look, I mean, again, on the street, he's taken his cast off. Yeah, look at Forex in the car. A lot of people were saying it was funny. There's a lot of like things that look really staged. And to be honest, guys, when I left my cult leader's got this big open air crusade that he does in Ghana, and he goes to all these remote countries and claims to heal the sick and raise the unalived and crazy stuff like this guy. I don't know, this guy's somewhere in Europe. I don't even know. He claimed to make a guy walk again. How do we validate these miracles and these? And it's like people are just believing it, you know, because of the blind faith. That indoctrination is what would they call it? Mazza. I'm trying to use Mazza and cooked more. You get me? Because I'm 38. I know you lot thought I was a younger babe. I'm 38 years young, chill. All right, and then I want to talk about this. This is an MESS, chill. I just... Like, my man is in Brighton, chair, doing this on the main public roadside. Everyone is, this has also gone viral, and word on the street is that this is very staged, chair, because this woman presented to me, she was like, oh, I'm all the way from Hastings, or wherever it was that she was coming from. Let me try and get the pictures, guys, so that I can show you like a little pictorial. They're just the MESS. Look at this, guys. This is unbelievable. Look, that's the guy that this is the guy that he healed. So this is the guy holding up the wheelchair. 214 people on the FYP. Why not come on and support the thing? Like, does coming on and giving a few likes cost any money? This must be all cultural, just enjoying the show, chair. Anyway, this is the guy. As soon as I saw this guy, I was like, this guy could have been paid. That's what I thought. I'm not going to lie, guys. Then this guy heals this woman. Ollie, oh, this is the crowd bussing up. Chair. I want to show you lot the first picture of when she came. All right, this is her coming to him like, I'm from Hastings. I've come all the way from it, wherever it was that she's come from, chair. Then he starts laying hands on the woman, like straight off the rip. Like, he's just laying hands on the stomach, chair. Woo, chair. Then all of a sudden, my gal is up on floor. She manifesting. It's just looking crazy and chaotic outside in these streets, yeah? And he's like, it's all right. It's all right. She's under the power of God. She's getting moved. You know, he talks like that. He's under the power of God. She's getting moved by the power of God. It's all right. It's all right. At this point, yeah, he's shouting at the top of his voice, chair. And my gal is sprawl out, our leg over palm floor like this. And he's like, it's all right. It's all right. Have you seen it for it? Chair. No, you lot, I gotta go, chair. Because you know when you lot, chair. Yo, some of the characters that they got supporting this street preaching is mazza. Like, I'm like, wagwan. Nah, you lot, I'm sorry, yeah, but I'm so glad I'm spiritual because the energy, it ain't right, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are they gwawning with, man? You get me? There was a next one that I wanted to show you lot as well. Guys, it's just wild outside in these street events. Look, he's in the Mac. You get me? Return of the Mac. Here we go. Oh, my days. You get me? It's giving, what was that guy's name? Return of the Mac. You get me? Yeah. Come on, you lot, man. We got to open our eyes, chair. Because let me see if I got any more before I go. Because it's just like, I'm just like, what? Like, no, but you lot, this is where we'll end it, yeah? How can I be scrolling and minding my own business? Do you know what? I have to come off in a minute because you know it's sensitive. Minding my own business, this, that, and the third. This anointed prophet of God is doing evangelism. Couldn't keep his hands off the gal. It was absolutely too much. Like, the pictures. I've shown this in the last one, but it's just so shocking that this guy claims that he was doing evangelism in Carney. But this is the woman's trying to grab her hand away. Do you know what I mean? Like, look at how the gal them are dressed. Why are you there? Why are you outside? Oh, look, this is when Jesse was getting into it with the police at West Croydon. They told him to turn off. Look, he wasn't given the speaker, total resistance. It's so sad where we're at the moment, and the reputation, because it's been used as like rage bait. And also, I think I'm gonna end on this, guys, because it is getting quite late. He actually looks like he wants to, lips her up. Yeah. But it would, you know what? I would respect it more if he was just honest though and just said, you know what, I'm feeling the gal. But they will like swear blind, put their hand on the Bible, swear on their, mums, you know what? No, didn't mean it. Didn't anything to uphold the reputation. So do you see at that small level with this guy, we don't even know his name, doing up that on the roadside, that Carney would do anything he can to uphold his reputation and his whatever it is that he's doing up, yeah? So nonetheless, these church cults, like these big organizations that get hundreds and thousands of people seated in their auditoriums every Sunday, Do you think that they're going to make an example, expose the SA or the pastor eating from the grape bar? Or do you think they're going to sweep it under the rug and try and pay off all parties involved? And you have to remember, when a lot of this stuff happens as well, it's back home. They can just give them a bag of beans from the beanstalk. Do you know what I mean, guys? It's that deep. And on that note, guys, I am going to go. This was just a quick live, because you know what, guys, I am feeling to come off. And when I get that feeling in my stomach, it's usually, you know, it's been a good run. I've been on about 4 times today, 3 or 4 times. So it's been a good run. I've done well to keep all accounts in the green. I will be on tomorrow. I have done lives all day. All the parts I'm posting on YouTube, because I need to also have time to like edit the content and put it up so that people who haven't been on the lives get a taster and a feeler, and the information's getting out there. Because one thing cults love to do up is information control. If you don't know about information control, quickly, Stephen Hassan's got a bite model in which we look at how cult leaders assert authoritarian control across 4 key areas: behavior, information, thought, and emotional control. Okay, and that's what they do up here. They love to control you know, your whole life basically through information control, because that's how they keep you wrapped in this bubble of psychosis. Okay, trapped in this self-sealing system. It's through the flow of the information that you're not getting access to, you're not getting privy to. They also do up a very fear-based programming to incite a lot of fear, so people are afraid to look at other things, or even, you know, have certain exposure to certain religions or belief systems, or even people. There's certain people that they could have formed lovely relationships with, romantic relationships with, but because there's so many rules and barriers, and it's very cultish in nature, just the whole ideology in itself, they equate unequally yoked to marrying someone of a different faith, not the husband that's sitting on their ass every day on the sofa and not making an earning. So the woman's breaking her back, getting sick, the kids are being neglected, living in poverty. That's an adverse childhood experience. They're going through absolute trauma, seeing the dynamic of a relationship of people who are in a single married home, and it will affect the trauma. The kids will spend the best part of their adult life just healing from the trauma in their home. Okay, but they take absolutely no accountability. So these are the things, and this is why we have guys like this, unfortunately. So instead of us focusing on, oh, we want to go to church, we should just be healing from our trauma and trying to help our communities, because they are targeting deprived communities in these areas. What I want to lastly say is that Preds thrive in these areas. Okay, they are the ones that are on the streets preaching. They are the ones that are, you know, in positions of power in these pyramid schemes, because all you need to have to do is be a man, attend the meetings and be coming, because they're so desperate to get men established and in there so that they can find husbands for the women. It's like part of the solution, and it's part of this overall vision to be this mega church and have all these people in there, because you might find your husband, you might find your wife, you might find your husband when you're on evangelism, you might find your wife. So there's a lot of emotional manipulation and dangling of carrots. You know, there's always a promise or an end goal that doesn't quite get achieved. You always see a glimpse of it. It's always in like your eye, your periphery view. It's within reach, but you never quite grasp it. Yeah. And I'm going to finish here. When I was in the church cult, I felt trapped. I felt alone. I felt like a caged bird. I saw many exit signs, but there was no way out. And so now that I have my freedom, as low as it gets in survivors, it does get low. It does get difficult. It's difficult for me right now. I feel like I've missed out on things, not getting to go to Carney because I haven't been well. And it's just that reminder again, you know, oh, I'm disabled, and the cult made me disabled, and I'm carrying all of this trauma, and they're just living their lives. And, you know, I was just laying here in my bed, because I've been in my bed the whole weekend, and just saying to God, why? Why do they get to like move on with their lives and just act like nothing's happened? And here I am, you know, carrying the trauma. As I always say, I didn't come out unscathed. Oh, Lucia, you're too quick with it. I didn't come out unscathed. I'm living with the trauma, because as you know, the body keeps the score, and the body gets stored and trapped in the body, and then it manifests in cancer and kidney disease and adrenal failure, and, you know, all different types of autoimmune diseases, which is an umbrella of many things. but it's all connected to trauma, you know, and the body, the trauma getting stored up in the body, and that's how sickness is created. It's through trauma getting trapped and stored in the body. You can go and look into the neuroscience about it. Actually, I'll talk about this tomorrow, because I'll try and look for that webinar, because I did have notes. So I'll do a bit of digging and searching. So tomorrow we'll look at how the body keeps the score. How does the body keep the score? How does it register trauma? How does it get stored up in the body? The neuroscience behind it. Let's look at what happens, and let's start to unpack that and make sense of it, yeah? And then we can understand what makes us susceptible to these environments. And also we'll see these patterns across the board in our workplace, in personal relationships, in new relationships, social settings, pretty much, you know, most areas of our lives, okay? So guys, I hope that you've enjoyed the live. If you're watching this later on YouTube and Instagram and you've got this stuff far, I'll do my first love famous selfie pose. And we used to do these photo booths for the Christmas. We would get it like at this really cheap rate, because we'd buy it, it'd be like a mass booking, and then I'd negotiate and haggle with the people then. And then we'd have like bring in the photo booth people and then charge people like £10, £20 each for a photo. So we just rinse them dry, child. Anyway, YouTubers, please remember to subscribe. Instagram, do give me a follow, because it doesn't cost a thing. It's literally free to just click a button. It might be projection. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? If I can't sleep, you never know. You might get me surfing the internet waves, but I think I am tired, so we'll go to sleep. Thank you so much. Remember to follow me, and on my main page, Leah Lauder 7. I hope you've enjoyed this quick little Crash Cult 101 course that we did tonight. Again, please subscribe to my YouTube, Leah Lauder 777. I've got playlists on there. It's real easy to navigate your way through the content. I also upload the lives that I do up. They're always uploaded on the same day or by the next day latest. So you can catch up on it. You can watch it later. You can watch it when you're cleaning or doing whatever you're doing, when you need to just have a pick-me-up, you know, and you feel like you need something on. If you are listening from the FYP and you're on the periphery, you're thinking, oh, should I come out of the cult or should I not come out of the cult? The only one that can make that decision is you. But I would say the best place to start is my YouTube channel, okay? Because it's like, I've started to organize it in a way where you can really easily navigate your way around the content. And it's been put in folders for you, like all of the work in terms of it being put in, you know, a sort of thematic order where you can go into the playlist and watch videos around, you know, specific areas that are kind of tailor-made to your situation, because I've done content on many areas. Some of my playlists that I would recommend would be the Cult 101 folder. There's some good stuff in that, and also my life story one, because I feel like I've been through so much that there's something for everybody to resonate with. And there was another one that I wanted to say as well, but go on the playlist and have a look. Oh yeah, that was it. The healing music playlist, and there's a lovely picture saying heal. That one is so nice. If you're feeling low and you don't know what to do, go to somewhere where there's grass, your garden, a park, a field, whatever. Take your headphones and listen to that playlist, and I promise you it will help you. All right, so love you guys. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for listening. For all of you that have been on from the start, I really appreciate you, because it's not easy, you know, to listen to someone for this like long period of time. And, you know, I'm so grateful. And you guys are going to keep hearing these acrylics banging on this microphone, man. But I love y'all. Have a great evening. I hope you've had a lovely bank holiday Monday, whatever you're doing. Stay safe and true to self. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Night, guys. Bye, YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't be